This is my video on climbers from many different areas, a lot of them from Albury-Wodonga, and about different types of climbing, why people like climbing, the benefits and different issues, I guess, in climbing, in the climbing world. I thought I'd do a bit of introduction for myself. For me, climbing is a bit of a way of life, and I love the way when I'm climbing I forget about everything else, and the only thing that's going through my head is the next move, how to get to the next hold. And I love that combined with everything else that is involved in climbing. There's so many different aspects to it. You've got the safety, there's the social aspect, and I think that it can be something that's very beneficial to a lot of people.
Hi, my name's Jess. I'm from Wollongong and
My name's Chris Brown. I'm originally from the US, from Alaska.
Hi, I'm Jade. I'm from Queensland originally. I now reside in Gindra near Albury.
I'm a student. I'm studying environmental science and management.
My occupation is business owner and climbing guide.
So my occupation is in outdoor recreation and outdoor education.
Hi, I'm Stephen Gordon. I'm from Albury, and I work as an IT manager. I like climbing because it provides a kind of an all-around challenge. There's the mental aspect, physical aspect. There's a lot of different strengths that you need to develop in yourself, like conquering your fears. There's physical strength, balance, flexibility, and yeah, so that's probably what I like about it the most. Plus, it's a really social sport, so it's a great way of making friends and just getting out in the outdoors.
Like climbing because it's an awesome activity and it provides opportunity for adventures and just it's really fun to hang out with good mates. Personally, the benefits from climbing I think are definitely the physical aspect in terms of like muscles and strength and just general fitness and aerobic strength. It increases that tenfold from once you start, and just the social aspects, the friends you get, and the sense of achievement and accomplishment you get from you doing difficult climbs.
I like climbing because when you're stuck on a particular move and your arms are shaking, your legs are shaking, your mind's telling you can't do this, your body's telling you can't do this, and then it just takes that one split second and you move beyond that.
Climbing gives me a release from my daily life, a bit of an escape, gives me time to hang out with a climbing partner and chill out with them on a ledge somewhere. At times, it also gives me a sense of satisfaction if I achieve something that was quite hard for me and I get up there. I've been climbing for 20 years and my preferred style of climbing is trad climbing. I love placing the pro, and that's all part of the problem solving for me as much as the moves are.
I've been climbing for 8 months now and I prefer top roping because it's really all I've done.
My preferred climbing style or type is high altitude mountaineering, but I do enjoy all types of climbing other than bouldering.
Hi, I'm Duncan. I'm from Melbourne and I'm a uni student. I've been climbing for about 3 years and I prefer bouldering.
I think definitely climbing is a team sport without almost like a sensei or mentors to guide you as you go through your climbing journey. It would be pretty hard to go from a beginner to a pro blazer.
For me, climbing's a team sport. I have done some solo climbing, roped and a little bit unroped, but generally I'm with a climbing partner. So for me, it's definitely an achievement with another person, and yeah, hanging out with them and interacting is a big part of it.
As far as a team or individual sport, I would say a bit of both. We achieve kind of individually, but I know in 30 years of climbing that there's been a lot of climbs that I definitely wouldn't have probably got up or had a go at if I didn't have a good climbing part. Look, I like it because of its physical challenge and its mental challenge, and it takes me places where most people aren't. It's probably the biggest reason I've enjoyed climbing all these years.
I think climbing is a team sport, definitely, because team implies more than one. You've got a belayer, even if you're free soloing, you still need that support network around you, you've still got people mentally helping you. It's a team sport.
Climbing is an interesting mix of team and individual sport, because especially with traditional climbing, you are ultimately reliant on another person for your safety. If something goes wrong, then you're going to need their help to get out of that situation. So I think I gained from climbing just a way of getting away from all the stresses and strains of a busy life. When you're up on the cliff, you can't really afford a lot of time to think about all of those things. So
I think one of the biggest challenges to climbing in terms of the environment is just how people treat the environment. A lot of climbs are in national parks and state parks. People simply just don't clean up after themselves, or they just have no respect for the climb or the environment that they're in, and that really reflects on the state of the environment.
There's a climb at Arapiles Tenon. It's a 19. It's just a really pleasant climb, and the moves are great. It's all trad, and that's the style of climbing that I love. And that'd probably be one of my favourite climbs of all time for a single pitch route.
My most memorable climb was this bouldering route I was doing in Camel's Hump. The rock there is volcanic, quite sharp, so it was quite painful, but that added to the confidence and let me remain calm and patient, ironically, and just work straight through it. And the moment of getting to the top after all that intense pain was just,
My favourite climbing experience is generally Thursday nights at the local climbing gym with all the core community having a barbecue and just having a great time with each other.
So one of my favourite climbs that springs to mind is a climb called Humanality, which is in Thailand. It's a 4-pitch climb, sport climb, and
As a guide, I think participants gain a lot of self-confidence. If they haven't done much climbing before and they step up to a route that looks a little bit hard, but then they are able to achieve it, I think that's a big boost in confidence for them. They also get to hang out with their friends or other climbing partners in a pretty cool environment and see a different side to them perhaps. And also look around and see the cliff in a different way. You're not just on the ground looking up, you're looking out across the landscape, so you get that different point of view.
One of my favourite things I've found through working as a climbing guide is watching the confidence that people get through climbing. I've seen a lot of beginners who look at a route and think there's no way I can do that, and then they go and surprise themselves and they climb it, and the confidence and just the joy they get out of that is really great. One of my favourite things to watch.
Look, most of the people I've dealt with, again, they deal with, fear of heights, personal challenge, those types of things, succeeding at something, or dealing with a fear, that type of thing, and trust. It develops a lot of trust, whether you're climbing with somebody you don't know or even with somebody you do know. Trust is probably the biggest thing people come away with out of that.
One of the biggest environmental issues I find surrounding climbing is just the basic way that people treat the cliffs. I know there's a lot of ethical issues surrounding vaulting, especially on some particular climbs or some areas. But I was recently at Nowra where close to one of the climbing sites there was a lot of rubbish all out through the bush, and I think that's one of the biggest things as climbers. We have to take care of our natural environment. This is the places that we climb, that we spend time at, that we love, and for people to not take care of those areas, that I think is a bit inappropriate, and that's one of the issues in climbing that I think could be improved.
I think drilling bolts for sport climbing is probably the biggest one I can think about. Other than that, sort of just accessing climbs and maybe creating tracks where tracks haven't been before, destroying bushland just to get to somewhere good. And to access that could involve sort of driving to a spot, getting out, and then sort of bush bashing, tearing down trees, or just pushing through a shrub, even spreading bacteria or bugs or parasites to other bushland that hasn't been affected maybe by that. Just people maybe not thinking about what they're doing and just going in for it straight away.
An environmental issue relating to climbing, I think just overpopulation in general relates to climbing, and as you see the sport getting more popular, you also see popular crags getting a bit more trashed around the base of them.
Favourite piece of gear is definitely a carabiner. Most simple to understand, which is good, and probably the most commonly used.
Okay, favourite piece of gear would be a number 7 Wild Country Rock, and yeah, I like the old ones you could get where they were slung as well. They were good for white water in your buoyancy vest, but great choice for climbing.
Favorite piece of gear is probably my crampons and ice axes. I've worked out ways to use those on all kinds of shoes, including my climbing shoes. So my preference is to be on snow and ice before I hit the rock.
The .75 Black Diamond Camelot, because it is big enough that it feels really solid, but it's small enough that you use it all the time, and it's just so nice placing it. It just feels really, really safe.
My favourite piece of gear is my chalk bag, because hey, that is adorable as. Like, look, it's gone.
I think new climbers should try and find a mentor that they can climb with often, someone that they trust, someone who's safe, and someone who is genuinely experienced.
One piece of advice, definitely make friends, find people who are experienced, and just don't get down on anything, stay super keen and enthusiastic.